Ethereum faces $1.3 billion unstaking wave. Here's what it could mean for ETH. As capital continues to flow strongly into Ethereum in 2025, pushing its price above $3,600, the amount of ETH queued for unstaking has also surged unexpectedly. What could this mean for Ethereum's price trend? Here are some expert insights. Over 350,000 ETH waiting to be unstaked. What's the implication? Udi Wertheimer, a prominent investor in the crypto community, raised concerns after discovering that more than 350,000 ETH, worth approximately $1.3 billion, are currently waiting in the unstaking queue. There's 350,000 ETH queued up to unstake. About $1.3 billion. The last time that much ETH was being unstaked was in January 2024, following a 25% rally in ETH/BTC in a single week. Price went down only from there, Udi Wertheimer said. Unstaking allows users to withdraw their ETH from staking smart contracts, turning it back into freely usable assets. A large wave of unstaking could signal potential selling pressure. This is especially true if investors are looking to take profits after ETH's 160% rally since its April lows. Earlier in 2024, more than 500,000 ETH were unstaked before ETH surged from $2,100 to over $4,000, and later dropped back to $2,100. Where might this unstaked ETH go? Victor Bunin, OG protocol specialist at Coinbase, suggested that this ETH might be moved into internal treasury funds. These funds could serve financial strategies like long-term investment or portfolio diversification. If that's the case, this isn't a sign of panic selling, it's more likely a form of asset management. This could actually help stabilize the market in the long term. Meanwhile, a report from Lukenchain shows that on-chain data indicates around 23 whales or institutions have accumulated 681,103 ETH, worth $2.57 billion, since July 1. And the accumulation hasn't stopped. In the fourth week of July, more institutions continued to add billions of dollars worth of ETH. The new ETH treasury, the Ether machine, announced $1.5 billion in ETH this morning. That'd be the biggest yet. But then last week, Tom Lee from Fundstrat Capital said he was going to buy $20 billion in ETH, and Joseph Lubin said he was in for at least another $5 billion. I have no idea who'll end up as the biggest. But I do know this, there's not enough ETH to go around, crypto investor Ryan Sean Adams said. What about ETH being staked? Udi Wertheimer's concern may sound alarming, especially when compared to historical patterns. However, it lacks a key perspective, the amount of ETH currently waiting to be staked. Data from ValidatorQ shows that the ETH queued for staking actually far exceeds the amount queued for unstaking. Since June, this queue has surged, with over 450,000 ETH waiting to be staked on certain days. This reflects continued investor interest in participating in the Ethereum network through staking. Also, there's a healthy amount of ETH queued up for staking at this time, Wertheimer added. Data from beaconcha.in shows that over 35.7 million ETH is currently staked across various protocols. This accounts for 29.5% of the circulating supply. Ultimately, the balance between ETH entering and leaving staking protocols is a critical factor. It helps determine whether the market is facing real selling pressure or simply witnessing strategic reallocation by institutions and individual investors. Ethereum price is trading near $3,705 on July 23, stabilizing after its powerful rally from sub-$200 levels earlier this month. The current structure shows ETH price consolidating below a key descending trendline near $3,780 to $3,820. This setup suggests that Ethereum is nearing a volatility inflection point, with directional momentum likely to return soon. What's happening with Ethereum's price? Ethereum has formed a high-compression symmetrical triangle on the 4-hour chart, with higher lows gradually pressing against a fixed horizontal resistance. Price action is currently wedged between $3,665 and $3,790, with buyers defending the rising trend line since July 5. The recent move above $3,500 invalidated a multi-week bearish flag and flipped multiple higher timeframe EMAs. Since then, the rally has matured into consolidation as ETH price prepares for its next move. On-balance volume, OBV, remains elevated, printing around 1.24 billion on the 4-hour, confirming consistent spot accumulation through the structure. Parabolic SAR dots continue trailing below price, showing that the short-term uptrend is still intact, albeit weakening. Why is the Ethereum price going down today? Why Ethereum price going down today relates to intraday rejection from $3,790, a zone which has capped price multiple times in July. On the 30-minute chart, ETH shows signs of fatigue, with 2 failed attempts to reclaim $3,780. VWAP also acted as resistance at $3,774, while the RSI has dipped below 47, suggesting weakening buying pressure. MACD on the same timeframe has flattened, showing reduced momentum, and the plus DI is declining on DMI, with ADX turning sideways. However, capital flows remain net positive. Ethereum's 24-hour spot net flow stands at plus $8.79 million, suggesting underlying investor conviction despite the short-term resistance. Unless ETH breaks below $3,645, triangle base, the broader bullish structure remains valid. Bollinger Bands and EMAs point to squeeze setup. The Bollinger Bands on the 4-hour chart are tightening sharply, with price now compressed near the middle band at $3,705. This indicates reduced volatility and rising potential for expansion in the next 12 to 24 hours. If ETH price can close above the upper band, $3,790, it may confirm the next impulsive leg toward the $4,000 to $4,140 zone. The 2050 EMA cluster sits between $3,625 and $3,705, currently acting as support. The 100 EMA at $3,484 and 200 EMA at $3,250 form the broader uptrend base. The bullish alignment of these moving averages continues to support upside pressure. Supertrend remains bullish on the 4-hour chart, printing support near $3,605, while VWAP rests just above at $3,718. This forms a minor supply band that needs to be cleared for continuation. Ethereum price prediction, short-term outlook, 24H. Ethereum is locked in a pre-breakout squeeze with rising compression. If ETH breaks above $3,790 with confirmation, the next move could extend toward $4,000, with further targets at $4,120 to $4,180 if upside momentum sustains. However, a rejection here could lead to a pullback toward $3,625, and further downside to $3,480 if trendline support fails. As long as Ethereum price today remains above the 2050's EMA cluster and supertrend support, the short-term structure leans bullish. A decisive close outside the triangle pattern will define the breakout direction.